Hello and welcome to part 4 of my Battle Girl High School guide. As I said in the last one, I'd start at the middle button, the girls button. So this is where you manage your girls, I guess. So let's just go in order. Left button up here is the team button. And from here you can make teams, like, say we're going to put like this food on the team. So there you go, like stuff like that. You can take them off. You tap the girl. You can look at the cards that she currently has equipped. And how this works, like, this is fairly complicated and I don't have the know-how to go that deep into it. In terms of, like, how to properly build your cards, but, like, basically you want your highest rarity card to be the main card, which is the one I have up here. And then you have sub-cards down here to support it. I believe if you put a card of the same weapon type in there, you get that skill to be available. Like, for example, if I had my Blade Cannon Shiho, like, card, and then I had a few other, like, Blade Cannon Shiho cards, I'd be able to use the skills of those cards. Sub-cards give your card better stats. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go into it right now. I just like putting, like, my highest rarity cards in the sub-slots, just because I feel like that probably gets the better stats. So now, second button here is weapons. So weapons that you scout or make, which I'll get into in a moment, are all here, and you can just say if I want to give her this one, I could choose to do that one, but I'll stick with this one for now. So, like, if you wanted to change the weapon the girl was holding, you can do that. And then this button is same kind of thing as it is in the classroom, except here you can also do battle clothes. So, like, if the girl has a card or weapon that allows her to do a transformation, then, like, after she transforms, which I'm also going to get to in, like, the extras video where I'm going to talk about the different weapon types and stuff. After she transforms, you're like, this will be the outfit she's wearing, whereas with the pink background, it's the normal outfit that she wears all the time. Speaking of, like, the changing screen, if I click on Sodone down here and go here, the thing that I was showing earlier, or trying to, is after you clear a certain story piece, you have this button available specifically only for Sodone, where you can change it so she no longer has her robot ears. Again, though, I find the robot ears cute, so I'm going to keep her with them. So, going back. This second button is just the cards you have. And this button down here, the Osusume button, is how you can order them. Like, you can go by, like, say you only wanted to see, like, cards that use Rod, you can do that, or you only want to see 4-star cards, so, like, now it will only show me 4-star Rod cards, which I have 5 of, apparently. I didn't realize that, but it kind of makes sense. Then here you can go to a specific character. Of course, you have to know what their name is in Japanese. So if you just want to see specific characters cards, like, say I just want to see the Kurumi cards I have, like, I go here, and then these are all the Kurumi cards I have. And if I just want to see them by rarity, and it goes in order of, like, the girls, so, like, it'll go Miki, Subaru, Haruka, blah, 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 after that. As you can see, I'm missing a few. I don't have a ton of 4 stars of each girl. I just have like a few 4 stars of the girls that I have 4 stars of. And then this bottom button is the card exchange button, but it's a button somewhere else, so we'll get to that later. Now, something you might notice is that a few girls have these purple things near them, so if I go, like, click this Renge card, and if I click this bottom thing with hearts, since I maxed out the bond for this card in particular, like there's a girl's affection which is just for that specific girl. It doesn't have to do with it's not connected to any specific card. And then there's the card bond. Since I maxed out the card bond for this card in particular, if I click this button and I spend 30,000 of the microphones, I can change the stars up here to hearts, which does raise the girl's stats, by the way, so it is definitely recommended that you do this if you can. And it unlocks something else, but for that, it also gives you a short little animation when you do it too. So that's all increased, and this button has changed. Now it's changed to a lesson button, which, before we get to that, I'll go through these buttons down here. Well, first, you go here, you can see, like, the skill, and this is, like, the team skill, and, like, other stuff like that. Now, press this button. You just get to, like, the cards. You can see, like, the sub cards I have equipped for this Renge. Then the second button is the dress up button. Then this button is if I want to raise the card's level. So you can either spend 50 2-star crystals, 25 3-star crystals, or 1 4-star crystal. And I would recommend not using your 4-star crystals, just because you can use those for the card exchange, which I will show in a moment, just because you can't get to it from this menu. If you click this button, you'll get special, if you click this button down here, that's now changed, you'll get special lessons that I will warn you are very hard, usually. Like, sometimes the first one is not too bad, but they do get, like, really hard, usually. I haven't done a ton of them, so there might be some that are just, like, easy all the way through, but, like, they're pretty difficult, let's just say that. This button up here, didn't mean to bring that down, but this little, like, play button up in the top corner will let you just go straight to the story for this card. Fine. Again, stories, like, you can get to it, that's the same button as, like, the lower right corner button from the events page on the battle section. That also lets you go to your, like, to the secret lesson, is what they're called. They're difficult, I'm not going to show them off here. I'm going to attempt to do this one, because for the birthday cards, if you do it, you get a special broom item. That is really cute in my opinion, so if I can, I'll do it. Let's go back. Could do Aurora as well, but I think I'll wait on that. So the next button is the card exchange button. I did show this off in a different video before, but, like, if you're just here for the guides, you probably didn't see that. So how this works is you can either use 3 4-star crystals, like you'll see that they'll be here. And you can do like this, and then add another 4-star. Promos don't count, like this Miki was a promo, and these cards are given away as, like, special cards. You can't use those. But, like, say I didn't want this Kaede card or whatever, but I'm not going to do that. Then you put those up there, and then you go here and select a card once, you know, everything pops up. There we go. You select a card from the list, and these are all like old 4 stars that were in a gacha before. Like there's hobby cards for all the girls, there's Valkyrie cards for some of the girls, there's China Dress cards for some of the girls, there's cheerleader card for some of the girls, there's pirate cards for some of the girls, like, and there's like the cyber set and the animal set. And some of them have the initial maid set, I think, or it might be, these might be like special cards. I wasn't around when any of these cards came out, so I don't know all of them. But they also have like Sarone's first couple of cards in here as well. And so basically you can exchange 3 4-star crystals or like 3 4 stars for one of these. Since these are old cards, they aren't as good, but they're still like, if you want them, I don't feel like it's a ripoff, especially since you can just use the 4-star crystals to get them, so it's not like you actually have to give up a card. This just tells you about it. Okay. And then after you've chosen that, you just press this pink button and it'll exchange it. Then finally, this button. I don't have any EXP tickets, so I can't show this off. But how it would work, which she's telling me right now, I don't have any EXP tickets, so I can't do it, is you'd put a card here that you're okay with getting rid of its levels, and you put another card here that you want the levels to be transferred to, and so that way you can level up the card, like, nice and easy pretty quickly. There are a couple cards that I'd like to do this with, but since I don't have any EXP tickets, it's not really available for me. Now, finally, one of the more complicated things in this game is the weapons tab, which is that button down there is how you get to it. There's a few other pages that have the ways to get to this as well. Like, if you're looking at a girl, like, assigning weapons to her, you can get to the weapons gacha from there. Or, not weapons gacha. You can get to this from the weapons gacha, because I'm pretty sure there's a, like, there's a yellow button on top that takes you to it. Like I said, this is fairly complicated, mostly in terms of weapon crafting, and it's also, like, I think up to the person if you want to do weapon crafting. If you don't want to scout in the weapons gacha at all, I would definitely recommend it. Although I'd recommend, like, trying to scout in the weapons gacha at least, like, every so often, because it's difficult to get 4-star weapons, and, like, while 4-star cards can do well even with, like, not very good weapons, like, when you get to harder stages, you're going to want to have more powerful weapons. So Furan, Mitsurugi, one of the teachers, is here to help, I guess, with the weapon gacha, or crafting. So here you go. So when you press the top button, you get all the different weapon types. Used to be 5, but now it's at 7. Sword, spear, hammer, gun, rod, gun, blade cannon, I refer to this multiple ways, and twin bullet. So you can just look through all the things you can make. Every so often they'll have, like, special campaigns where the price is cut, which is nice. And it is right now. I still, like, you need the materials to make it, though, so I still can't make a lot of things, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's make a gun. Let's see, like, what the highest rarity that I can make is. Let's try this one. So as you can see, this is how much it costs, and they'll tell you how much money you have, so is like, not too bad. And then these are the materials that you need to make it. If you don't have all the materials to make a weapon, it's not going to show up in your list, so just so you know, like, the list that you see is not the entire list. In fact, there's probably some materials that I've never even gotten on some weapons that haven't shown up for me yet. So, I say I want to make this, so I just press this pink button. And then we get a little sequence. All the materials going into it. And we hope for an S rank. And we get a D. So, okay, I can't make it again yet because I don't have enough of those rainbow crystals. But if I could, and if I got, say, like a C rank, I could go to this button. And I can't show this with any of these because they're all, like, too good. But, like, if I had, say, like this one, if this wasn't S rank, I'd be able to put these two up here, and it would show, like, it would possibly put it up to the next letter ranking. Like, this is how, like, if you have two weapons that aren't S rank because you can't make S rank better, you can combine them together as long as they're the same to make them a better ranking, which you need in order to make the better versions of certain weapons, but I'm not even going to get into that. It's like a whole other thing. Like, for example, here, this is making the better versions of weapons if I had them, which I'll just click on here to show. You need an S rank of the original weapon, and it needs to be max leveled in order for you to make it into the next version of that weapon, which has the little alpha symbol on it. And if you level up a weapon all the way this way, it actually ends up pretty decent, but anyways. So only button left here is this button where you can go through weapons that you have. Let's say this one. And then you can use your materials to level them up. There is a specific thing that I would suggest using, just like that I would suggest being the only thing you use to level them up, but I'll go over that once I get to multiplayer. Here is where you can sell some weapons you don't want, like, let's see, what could I sell? Let's say I only want one of these, so click on this, and I sell it, and I get basically the gold back from making that sword. So, pretty good. If you have a lot of extra weapons you are not using at all, I'd say feel free to use this. Like, I'm not using a ton of hammers right now, so, like, I might get rid of some hammer cards, stuff like that. And then this one, you can just look at, like, the materials that you have, including, like, materials that you did have but you don't have any pieces of, so, like, it'll show you that if you've, like, seen the material. And you can look at this tab to see all the weapons that you have. There's also sorting options for that, but it's a bit. So anyway, that's all of the girls tab, so let's go to the multiplayer tab. Where Isiki Yakumo sensei, another one of the teachers, is here to introduce this. So, in multiplayer, you get to play, at least this multiplayer, you play minigames against randomly selected people. Or, if you press this pink button, you can either start a group where you can choose what minigame you're playing or just have it be random. Or you can join a group if you have a code for it. Sucker couldn't do anything. So, like, if you set up something with, like, say you have, like a friend or two plays this game, like, you can play games with them, kind of thing, which seems fun. This has the rules for all the different games. Not gonna get into that because actually no, I will. So just because I'm only gonna show one. So like this one, ball toss. You defeat enemies. You get like white and red, like kind of hacky sack type balls. You pick them up. You throw them in your basket. The red ones are worth 3 points and the white ones are worth 1. This one is you defeat enemies to color squares your color. That's pretty much it. You just want to have more of the squares on the board colored as your color. This one you defeat enemies to get stars of your color and then you pick them up for points. Pretty easy, pretty nice and easy. And this one you defeat moles to get points. I don't know why it's moles. I hope we don't get this one either because they have this really annoying like cry whenever you like defeat one. It's really bad. I'll show off this little roulette thing after we do our multiplayer match. Of course it's moles! I'm gonna switch to my Shinon team for this. So if you wanna like interact with the people while you're waiting, you can press this bottom button to wave or bow, be polite. Oftentimes people won't respond, so I tend to get really excited when they do. You may not have noticed, but that Sarone down at the bottom, when it was showing the uncolored version, meaning that they hadn't loaded in yet, or, well, it is colored, but like the no features version, showing that they hadn't loaded in yet, it still had the robot ears, but in the new art for these little chibi heads, she no longer has the robot ears, so they haven't fixed the old ones yet. I think it's just a combination of my internet being poor and also being in a different country that, well, generally, I think I've probably run into a couple English-speaking, like, America-located players or something and such. But, like, combination of those two things, often being in a different country, leads me to being the last person to load in. But oh well, it is what it is. When it takes especially long, I often feel bad for the other two people since it seems like they load in much quicker. Which is why I kind of hope that we get an English version of this game. Since that would probably speed up the loading times for this. I'm gonna spare you the sounds and turn the music off. You only get a minute per minigame, so they aren't very long. But they're all just pretty, like, short and simple, and I think they're fun. And I think it's like a fun way of adding other player interaction too. And we're already done. See? Nice and short. This one's going a little long, but I'm pretty close to the end of this, so I'll finish up when I finish up, kind of thing. So I saw from that. That was actually the third minigame that I played today. I played 2 in between videos. So now I've completed all the different tests. And after you complete all your tests, like you get some XP for your characters, but you also get 5 gems, which is nice. Or shards. So basically, if you log in and do all the tasks, which can be done pretty quickly, every day, you get, wow, why am I like having trouble saying this? You get 11 shards per day, which means that if you just log in and complete all your tasks for 25 days, so less than a month, you get 250. Like, you don't even need to do anything extra, and that's not even counting if you get, like, extra stuff from the, like, normal tasks, like the long-term ones. So, let's check out this roulette now. So, this prize roulette, you get some, like, presents for the girls along with some other items that you can use for additional things. So, let's just go. See what we get. Okay. That's a present. I don't think that's any specific girl's favorite thing, but, like, I think most of the girls just kind of like it. Not all of them, though. But don't quote me on that. I'll let it play out next time. So, like, I'm so used to double tapping. Alright, let's just tap once. Okay. Okay. And then finally, oh, will I get to show it off? No. Okay. So if you land on the, that took a little bit. If you land on the one that's on the pink, pie slice kind of thing, which there are, I believe, 2 of on the second one and 4 of on this one, you will change which roulette wheel you're on. Like, currently we're on the 3rd one, but like if we got it, we move down to the 1st one, and then if we got the one on there, we move it to the 2nd one, then if we got the one on there, we move it to the 3rd one, and like back and forth. Which is good, because there are different prizes on each one, so like you want to be able to rotate through them. It's not like, oh, the 3rd one's the best. Because, for example, I believe Sarone's favorite gift, the taiyaki, is on the 2nd one only. I believe so. Same with, I think, Urara and Kokumi's is on the 2nd one only as well. But, like, Subaru's is the macarons, which is on here. Kaede's is the ramen, which is on here. Michelle's is the teddy bear, which is on here. Kanon's is the watch, which is on here. Like, Renge's is this magazine, which is a little bit skeevier than I initially thought it was, which is on here. Like, so, again, all the girls' like prizes are scattered across the different ones, so they're all good. They're all pretty good. Now, while minigames are part of the multiplayer, they are not the entire multiplayer experience. Collect these first. If you click the little blimp on the bottom, you get taken to the other side of multiplayer. which is usually shown up by now. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Yeah, no problem. I'll just start explaining it. This side is hosted by the childlike, even though it's never really used as a joke beyond like her initial appearance, child, or at least she looks like it. She doesn't even act childlike. Like she just looks really young for some reason, and like it's kind of joked about in the beginning, but it's never. Anyway, it's the school director. She's called president in the anime subtitles for some reason, which is weird, but whatever. It's hosted by her. This is where you team up with people, so it's not competitive, it's the other way around, to take on large bosses. I definitely would not recommend doing this until you have at least, like, a max level of 4-star, because these can get very difficult. And unless you're really, really good at the game, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing harder, like, beyond that. Okay, now it's loading. Without having, like, at least 2 other people with you. But this one is also, like, pretty good. It's pretty fun when you, like, get into it and you have a few people going at it. Because it is cooperative, so it's like, yeah, you're on the same team. Okay, I think she is. There's a school director. My cat has joined us in for the final part. So this first button is which I'm actually going to click on just to show it, is you host the match. So it's like you get to, like, if you click this button, you get a code for your room, so you can give that to other people if you just want to have some people. Or you can click this button down here to get random people to join you, or this button down here to get only people you follow to join you. And I believe this yellow button will tell you about it. Maybe. It's gotten really slow for some reason. I said I wouldn't complain about it, but like it wasn't that bad until just now. And I want to kind of be wrapping things up. Anyways, okay, so that thing you can kind of see off to the side there. Since I'll just talk about it while it's waiting. You go over there, you can choose what boss or bosses you want to face, and some of them are multiple. Most of them are just one boss. Okay, yeah, this is a little, like, tutorial about it. Yep, I'll just give it. So you go over here, you click here, and then you can choose which big boss to fight, like, say I want to fight this one, and I have a choice of difficulty between easy, normal, hard, and very hard. Does this one have it? Yeah. And there's also hell on top of it, which I just find, like, kind of funny as a name for difficulty, but it is really hard. Like, you have to be really, really good and really, really prepared to go into hell difficulty bosses. So yeah, I do that. I'd do it if I had, like, a group, but I don't. I wouldn't do hell. I'd probably do very hard at the most. That boss in particular that I picked is especially difficult, so I tend to stick with hard for that. Then over here, which is also accessible on the main screen, you can click here and you can see what stuff you can exchange things. That came out weird. What stuff you can exchange things for. Like, I don't have enough CP right now, but, like, say I wanted to get this gray uniform that Kanon is currently wearing. Well, I know that I need to get 8,000 CP, which you get from just clearing the stages and from selling event items. And 18 of these gold plates, which you get from defeating this particular boss. You don't always get them. It's kind of random whenever you get the gold ones or the rare ones, and it is not rare, or the rainbow ones, which I'll show. What needs the rainbow ones? Probably these things, right? Oh wow, I could get this. No, it's just in silver. No? No. Oh wait, yes. See, rainbow type ones. You get, like, you have a more likely chance of getting them the higher the difficulty is, but even then, I've found that it's kind of random. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't get it on very hard, but I get it on hard more. Like, it's weird. Here you can go and exchange stuff for CP. Like, there are those keys you could, like, say, man, I have over 1,000 of these. Like, I don't need all that. Say I want to do, like, let's just do 35, so I have 1,000 even. So that gives me 630 CP, which is probably combat points or something like that. I'm not entirely, or co-op points. It might be co-op points. Also, when you have people in the room, you can say specific things to them. So, like, this is just, like, greetings and farewells. Like, you have konnichiwa, sayonara, yoroshiku, so, like, nice to meet you. Stuff like that. Then there's, like, these ones, like, hai, questo iko, so, like, let's go to quest. Skoshi mate ne, which, so, like, well, wait a moment. So, like, you need to check how many things you need to figure out, like, what battle you should do. Do that. Then there's battle ones. Again, if you can't read Japanese, it's going to be helpful. But then there's, like, unique ones, like each of the 18 characters. It seems like the 3 third arc characters, or 4, I guess. Although Tiny also might have regular Austin quotes. Don't have it, but, like, the main 18 characters all have, like, little special ones that go with their character, special versions of these. So, like, a bunch of those, so you can communicate to people here. Oh, of course, if you can't read Japanese, it's probably not going to be that helpful. So you can press this to go, or you can just go on this and press this to leave. After you choose, I forgot to mention, after you choose a thing, that door in the back will open, and you can go in there. After you choose a boss and everyone agrees to it. Then this one is if your friends have made a room, you can enter in the room code, like the room code that I showed earlier. And here is you can search for a match, just in case anyone's doing it. Anyone that you're following is hosting, you can join that. And here you can join a random one. If you just pick up here, it means that you don't care what the quest is, which I found is usually more helpful in terms of finding one. Whereas down here, you can choose, like, a specific monster and say I want to choose, like, this one. And then I can choose the difficulty and see if anybody's playing that stage at that chose that stage at that difficulty. This button just kind of tells you about it, so it's like the same one that was in there. And then this one is just so you don't have to go in there to go to the little, like, exchange shop. And that is it. Like I said before, I will be making an additional video probably tomorrow. That goes over the different weapon types. Yeah, that's mostly it. The special stages that I'll be using these, like, stages that talk about it, like, just to go over it. And if anybody has any suggestions of, like, things that I didn't go over, or things that they want clarified, I can do that as well. Even if I don't get to it in, like, tomorrow's video, feel free to tell me anyways, because I can make an additional video after that of, like, extra things. So, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope if you are getting into this game for the first time that this was helpful. So, bye!